Let's cut through the noise for a minute. Forget everything you've been force-fed by Hollywood movies, every line you've read in a romance novel, and every filtered fantasy you've scrolled past on social media. You've been sold a story, a beautifully packaged lie, that women are unsolvable riddles, ethereal angels wrapped in mystery, speaking a language that no man can ever truly decipher. It's a narrative that benefits everyone except you. It keeps you buying flowers, writing apologies for things you didn't do, and walking on eggshells, constantly afraid of making the wrong move. Here at the Stoic Manhood Guide, we don't deal in convenient fictions. We deal in foundational truths. And the truth is, that feeling of confusion you have, that frustration when you do everything you're told is right, only to see it fall completely flat. That's not your fault. You've simply been given the wrong map to navigate the world. You've been trying to solve a psychological puzzle with a romantic poem. It will never work, because women are not the mysterious creatures society paints them to be. They are human. They are emotional. They are psychological beings, driven by instincts, patterns, and primal software that is older and more powerful than civilization itself. This isn't a criticism, it's an observation. And for the man who understands it, it is the ultimate advantage. What if I told you that the confusion you feel could be replaced with clarity? What if you could stop reacting to her tests and start anticipating them? What if you could finally stop asking yourself, "What on earth did I do wrong?" and instead see the entire game board for what it really is? This isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding. It's the Stoic principle of seeing reality as it is, not as you wish it were. And once you see it, you can never go back to being blind. Today, we pull back that curtain. I'm going to reveal 10 undeniable psychological facts about women. Truths that operate beneath the surface of daily interactions. These aren't my opinions. These aren't theories. These are fundamental principles, backed by observation and the silent logic of human evolution. Some of them will shock you. Some might even make you angry. Others will feel so deeply, uncomfortably familiar that it will feel like someone is finally putting words to a lifetime of experience. But I promise you this. Once you internalize these 10 truths, you will never look at women, at dating, or at your own relationships the same way again. The confusion ends today. So if you're ready to trade mystery for mastery, if you're ready to stop guessing and start knowing, listen closely. Let's begin. Fact 1. Women desire confidence more than looks. Let's start with the obsession that wastes more of a man's time and energy than anything else. Looks. We live in a world that screams at you from every billboard and phone screen that if you just had a sharper jawline, a taller frame, or 6-pack abs, all your problems with women would disappear. So men go to the gym, they buy the expensive clothes, they perfect their hair, and they're still left wondering why the woman they're talking to seems more interested in the quiet, average-looking guy in the corner. The reason is simple, but it's profound. While looks might be the invitation to the party, confidence is the man who owns the room, and women have a primal, deeply ingrained radar for it. What is real confidence? It's not the loud, obnoxious arrogance of the guy who needs to be the center of attention. That's just insecurity wearing a mask. True, magnetic confidence is quiet. It is a calm, unshakable presence. It's the physical manifestation of a man who knows his own worth, who is aligned in his thoughts and actions, and who does not seek validation from anyone outside of himself. Psychologically, A woman's brain links this kind of deep confidence directly to safety and competence. It signals that he can handle himself. It suggests that if the world gets chaotic, he won't crumble under pressure. It tells her, on a level far deeper than words, that he can lead when things get uncertain. Think of it this way: looks are the advertisement, but confidence is the product itself. A handsome man who is nervous, fidgety, and constantly seeking her approval is like a flashy commercial for a faulty product. The packaging is great, but the moment she tries it, she knows something is wrong. Conversely, the man who is grounded in himself radiates an aura of reliability. His eye contact is steady, his voice is calm, his movements are deliberate. He doesn't need to boast because his entire presence is a statement of his value. The weak man chases women, hoping their approval will give him confidence. The Stoic man cultivates his own confidence and lets women chase the powerful feeling of security they get when they are around him. That is why, psychologically, true confidence will always beat looks. Fact 2: women test men, often without realizing it. Every man listening has felt this. You're having a great conversation. Things are going smoothly, and then suddenly, out of nowhere it happens. She challenges your decision about where to eat. She makes a playful, borderline, disrespectful joke at your expense. She questions your opinion on something you're passionate about. Or maybe she just pulls away, becoming distant and quiet for no apparent reason. Your first reaction is probably confusion, then frustration. It feels like a trap. It feels unfair. And if you react with anger, defensiveness, or needy pleading, you have already failed. These are called tests. And here's the crucial part you have to understand: most of the time, she isn't even consciously aware she's doing it. This is not a malicious, calculated game. It's a subconscious evolutionary stress test. Think of it as her emotional immune system automatically scanning you for weakness. She needs to know if the man she's with is genuinely strong, or if it's all just an act. Is your strength real, or will it shatter at the first sign of pressure? When she pushes your buttons, she's not always trying to hurt you. She's often trying to see if you'll break. When she questions your decision, she wants to see if you'll crumble into indecisiveness or stand firm. When she pulls away, she wants to see if you'll panic and chase her, or if you'll remain centered in your own life, giving her the space to come back. It's not about cruelty. It's about reassurance. The weak man resents the test. He sees it as a personal attack. He becomes emotional, defensive, and tries to argue his way out of it, losing all attraction in the process. The Stoic man understands the test. He expects it. He sees it for what it is: a request for security disguised as a challenge. He meets it with calmness, maybe a touch of humor, and an unshakable presence. By refusing to be rattled, he passes without effort. He proves, through his actions, that he is the rock she is looking for. Tests are psychological checkpoints, and the man who calmly passes them earns her deeper trust, her deeper respect, and her deeper desire. Fact 3: women are attracted to mystery. Ask any woman what she wants in a man, and honesty and openness will be at the top of her list. And that is true to a point. Women want honesty for long-term security and trust. But what ignites and sustains her initial, burning interest is mystery. Psychologically, the human brain is a puzzle-solving machine. It craves the thrill of the unknown and the satisfaction of discovery. When a man is a completely open book from the first date, when he lays out all his hopes, fears, past traumas, and future plans, He might make her feel safe, but he will not make her feel desire. He has handed her the solution to the puzzle before she's even had a chance to play. The game is over before it began. Mystery creates tension. It creates a narrative gap that she feels compelled to fill with her own thoughts. It makes her wonder, what's he thinking about when he's not with me? What drives him? Who is he really? This curiosity is the engine of emotional investment. The more she thinks about you, the more valuable you become in her mind. This does not mean being dishonest. It absolutely does not mean lying. Mystery isn't about deception, it's about depth. It means not handing her your entire life story at once. It means having layers to your personality that reveal themselves over time through shared experiences. It means having your own purpose, your own passions, your own inner world that she isn't immediately privy to. You are the fascinating movie she can't wait to see, not the predictable trailer that gives away the entire plot. The man who is endlessly desired is not the one who explains himself constantly. He's the one who lives a full life, with a focus she can't control and passions she can't dictate. His validation comes from his mission, not from her approval. That is why mystery isn't just attractive, it's addictive. It keeps her coming back, eager to uncover the next layer of who you are. Fact: 4 women crave emotional roller coasters. This is one of the hardest truths for men, especially nice guys, to accept. You believe that women only want peace, stability, and comfort. You think that if you provide a life that is completely smooth and predictable, she will be happy and devoted forever. And so you become the nice guy. You agree with everything she says. You avoid all conflict. You provide a flat, stable, and completely boring emotional landscape. And then you watch in horror as she becomes attracted to the bad boy, the man who provides drama, intensity, and passion. Here is the uncomfortable truth: yes, women want safety and stability as a baseline, but psychologically, they are addicted to emotional highs and lows. A life without emotional variance is a life that feels dull. The roller coaster of desire, uncertainty, excitement, and reassurance is what keeps them engaged and invested. The nice guy provides consistency, but often to the point of utter boredom. His emotional signature is a flat line. Women will never admit this openly, but deep down, they want to feel. They want tension, playfulness, teasing, and the thrill of unpredictability. I'm not talking about toxic chaos or abuse. I'm talking about emotional spice. The man who understands this doesn't become an asshole. He becomes dynamic. He knows how to mix his calm, stoic presence with moments of intense passion. He knows how to be a source of comfort, but also a source of thrilling surprise. He can lead with certainty one moment and playfully tease her the next. This dynamic creates highs and lows that release dopamine in her brain, the same powerful chemical that makes things like gambling so addictive. If everything is flat, her brain essentially goes to sleep. If there are peaks and valleys, her brain lights up. She feels alive. The man who can give her this emotional journey, one that is thrilling yet still feels fundamentally safe, is the man she will never get bored of. Fact: 5 women are experts at reading body language. You can have the perfect words. You can have a script memorized that you think is flawless. But if your body is telling a different story, she will believe your body 100% of the time. Women, on the whole, possess a much sharper emotional and non-verbal intelligence than men. Psychologically and evolutionarily, this makes perfect sense. For millennia, a woman's survival and the survival of her children depended on her ability to rapidly and accurately read intentions. She had to sense danger, deceit, or strength in a potential mate or a stranger without a single word being spoken. She had to understand the needs of her pre-verbal infant. That ancient, life-saving skill hasn't faded. It's been honed into a razor-sharp social intuition. Today, women still use it to judge men. You may think you're hiding your nerves, but she sees the slight tremble in your hand. You think you're projecting confidence, but she hears the upward inflection in your voice that signals uncertainty. You say you don't care what she thinks, but she sees you anxiously seeking her reaction in your peripheral vision. They pick up on micro-signals you don't even know you're sending. This is why your physical presence matters more than your words. If you say, "I'm confident," but your posture is slouched and your shoulders are caved in, she will believe your posture. If you say, "I'm not intimidated," but you can't hold steady eye contact, she will believe your eyes. The weak man's words and body are in conflict. He is incongruent, and she senses this as deceit or weakness. The Stoic man, however, aligns his inner state with his outer presence. He understands that his calm breathing, his steady eye contact, and his relaxed posture can say more than 1,000 compliments. He knows his silence can be more powerful than another man's entire speech. He communicates strength not through what he says, but through how he is. Women don't just hear men, they feel their presence. And a congruent, grounded presence is something they can trust. Fact 6. Women desire men other women desire. Here is a truth that makes many men deeply uncomfortable. Attraction is not built in a vacuum. It is profoundly social. And one of the most powerful psychological triggers of attraction is something called pre-selection or social proof. Put simply, if other women want you, it makes you exponentially more desirable in her eyes. Think of it like a psychological shortcut. Vetting a potential mate is a high-stakes, energy-intensive process. But if a woman sees that a man is already desired, respected, and valued by other women, her brain uses that as a massive cheat sheet. The logic is primal and efficient. If all of these other women have already vetted him and found him to be high value, then he must be a safer and better choice than the unknown man that nobody seems to want. It signals that he possesses qualities worth wanting, be it confidence, status, humor, or security. This is why you see a man who is happily talking and laughing with a group of women at a party suddenly become the center of attention for every other woman in the room. His value has been publicly demonstrated. Conversely, the man who sits alone, isolated and ignored, raises a subconscious red flag. Why does no one want him? What's wrong with him? This doesn't mean you need a harem or you need to be a player. It means you need to build a life where you are a valued, respected man who is comfortable and competent in social settings, including with women. It means having female friends. It means being the guy that other people, men and women, look to for leadership or a good laugh. You cannot fake this. You must genuinely build a life of social value. The man who is admired by others carries an aura of desirability that no fancy pickup line or expensive watch can ever replicate. Fact 7. Women respect boundaries more than begging. Most men operate under a disastrously wrong assumption. They believe that relentless persistence will eventually win her over. They think that if they just try harder, text more, and plead their case with enough passion, she will eventually see how much they care and change her mind. In reality, begging and pleading, are the fastest poisons to attraction known to man. Psychologically, women do not respect a man they can walk all over. They crave a man with a strong frame, a man who sets boundaries and is willing to enforce them, even if it means walking away. When you say no to something you're not comfortable with, when you refuse to tolerate disrespect, when you walk away from a bad situation instead of begging her to fix it, you send one of the most powerful signals a man can send. I value myself more than I value your approval. And that, paradoxically, triggers immense respect and attraction. Weak men cave at the first sign of rejection or disapproval. They apologize for having an opinion. They change their plans to accommodate her every whim. They are terrified of her displeasure, and she can feel it. Strong men hold their line. They are not aggressive or controlling, but they are firm in their principles. They know their worth. Deep down, women test boundaries not because they want you to bend, but because they are desperately hoping you will hold firm. They need to know that your frame is strong enough to support both of you. A man who begs is a man who is saying, "You are the source of my emotional stability." That is a terrifying amount of pressure. A man who has boundaries is saying, "I am my own source of stability, and I invite you to share in it." The man who begs loses her. The man who stands tall earns her. Fact 8. Women are attracted to masculine purpose. I want you to imagine a ship sailing on the ocean. The ship has a captain, a destination, and a mission. Now, imagine a woman boards this ship. A wonderful, beautiful woman. A weak captain will immediately forget the destination. He will drop the compass, abandon the wheel, and make the woman the entire point of the journey. He will orbit her, and the ship will drift aimlessly until it eventually sinks. A strong captain will welcome her aboard. He will cherish her as his first mate, but he will never, ever forget the destination. He will keep his hand on the wheel and his eyes on the horizon. The journey continues. You are the captain. Your purpose is your destination. And here is the paradox. Women want to feel like they are the most important person in a man's world, but they don't want to be his world. Psychologically, nothing kills attraction faster than a man who abandons his mission for a woman. Your purpose is your masculine core. It's your drive, your ambition, your vision for the life you want to build. It could be your career, your business, your art, your physical fitness, your impact on your community. It is the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning, independent of any woman. This purpose is magnetic. It radiates direction, and a man with direction creates a sense of safety and an exciting future. A man without a purpose feels lost, and his lostness creates a vortex of emotional neediness that will eventually suffocate any attraction she feels. This is why you so often hear stories of women leaving men who gave them everything. If everything meant he abandoned his friends, his hobbies, and his own ambitions to orbit her, then he didn't give her everything. He gave up the one thing she was attracted to, in the first place, his masculine drive. The Stoic man loves deeply, but his love never replaces his purpose, and ironically, his unwavering commitment to his own path is what makes her love him even more. Fact 9. Women fear losing a high-value man. This principle is not about playing games. It's about understanding one of the most fundamental laws of human psychology. We value what is scarce, and we work hard to keep what we fear we might lose. If a woman knows, with 100% certainty, that you will always be there, no matter how she acts, if she knows you have no other options, If she knows you won't leave even if she disrespects you, she will relax. And not in a good way. Your value in her eyes will plummet because you have become emotionally abundant and predictable. There is no tension, no stakes. Now, contrast that with a man who embodies a reality where he truly does not need her. He wants her deeply. He chooses to be with her every day. But his happiness, his self-worth, and his life's mission do not collapse without her. He has his own social circle. He is attractive to other women. He will not tolerate disrespect, the subtle, unspoken understanding that he could walk away creates a healthy, attractive tension. She knows she has to continue to earn his investment, just as he has to earn hers. This isn't about making cruel threats or creating artificial drama. It's about becoming a man of genuine options and high self-worth. It's about building a life you love, so that your relationship is a wonderful part of that life, not the entirety of it. That genuine independence is what keeps her invested. It keeps her chasing. It keeps her showing you her best self, because she knows she is with a man who has a choice. Now, becoming this kind of man, a man whose presence is so valuable that the thought of losing it is a powerful motivator, isn't about learning a few cheap tricks. It's about a fundamental transformation in your own life. It's a long journey of self-development, of finding your purpose, and of building unshakable internal confidence. And frankly, that journey is the entire reason the Stoic Manhood Guide exists. If you're serious about that transformation from being the man who is afraid of losing her to being the man she is afraid of losing, make sure you subscribe to this channel. What we're talking about today is just the first step on that path. Fact 10. Women want a man who leads emotionally. We've arrived at the final and perhaps most important truth. At the end of the day, after all the tests and all the dynamics, what a woman craves on a primal level is the freedom to let go. Modern society tells women they have to do it all. They have to be strong, be independent, manage a career, and handle endless responsibilities. But in her intimate relationship, she does not want another job. She doesn't want to carry all the responsibility, make all the decisions, and manage all the emotional weight. Psychologically, she craves a man who can lead, not with aggression or control, but with calm, decisive certainty. Emotional leadership means you are the frame, and she is the painting. A strong, stable frame allows the artwork to be beautiful, secure, and fully expressed. A weak, flimsy frame forces the painting to worry about falling off the wall. When you guide the energy of an interaction, when you make a decision on where to go for dinner instead of saying, "I don't know, what do you want to do?" When you stay calm in the middle of a storm, you are providing that frame. When you do this, something magical happens. She relaxes. She feels safe. She feels free to let go of the burdens of the day and step into her natural, feminine energy. And that is when attraction reaches its absolute peak. It's a profound relief for her to be with a man who can take the lead, who is the emotional thermostat for the relationship, not the thermometer that simply reflects her temperature. Leadership is direction, it's stability, and women are deeply, biologically wired to respond to it. That's why, across all cultures and all of history, the most desired men are always those who lead their own lives and their relationships with strength, vision, and a calm heart. So, there you have it, 10 foundational truths, the psychological operating system running beneath the surface of every interaction you will ever have. And I know it's a lot to take in. Some of it may have been difficult to hear, because this knowledge isn't about learning a few clever lines or manipulative tricks. It's about a fundamental shift in your understanding of reality. These aren't rules you can argue with. They are forces of nature, like gravity or time. You don't have to like them, but you will achieve far greater success by understanding them and working with them, rather than fighting against them in confusion. This knowledge now brings you to a crossroads, a clear choice. Down one path. You can click away from this video and go back to the world you knew before. You can return to the frustration, the guesswork, and the comforting lies that Hollywood and society have sold you. You can keep wondering why your best efforts fail and continue to believe that women are just complicated. That is the path of willful ignorance. It is easier in the short term, but it leads to a lifetime of the same repeating mistakes. Or you can choose the second path. You can accept these truths, not as a bitter pill, but as a powerful map. You can begin the real work, not the work of trying to change women, but the work of changing yourself, the work of building yourself into the kind of grounded, confident man who doesn't need to play games, because his very presence sets the tone. A man who is so centered in his own purpose that he becomes a source of strength and stability, rather than a man who is constantly seeking it from others. This channel, the Stoic Manhood Guide, is for the men who choose that second path. It's for the men who are done making excuses and are ready to take radical responsibility for their own success. That's why I've asked you to subscribe. It's not just about getting more videos, it's a commitment to yourself. It's a declaration that you are finished with confusion and ready for clarity. And when you comment the word TRUH below, you're not just typing a word. You are joining a growing community of men who are choosing to see the world as it really is. You're drawing a line in the sand. And as you leave here today to begin that journey, I want to leave you with one final, crucial lesson that ties all of this together. For years, you've been trying to solve the wrong problem. You've been asking, what does a woman want me to do or say? The lesson is this: you do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. Stop chasing. Stop performing. Stop trying to become the man you think a woman wants. Instead, put all of that energy into building the man that you respect. Build your body. Build your mind. Build your mission. Become a man of unshakable purpose and genuine self-worth. Become the Stoic captain of your own ship. Do that, and you will no longer have to worry about chasing attraction. Attraction will start chasing you. Embrace the truth. Build the man. The rest will follow.